Hey guys, this is Zach from Central Florida Fishing and Florida Surfcasters. I told you guys I was going to post a couple of videos, kind of show you how to tie some leaders, give you some ideas, things you can use. You'll notice a lot of what I tie and what I handle revolves around surf fishing. That's the main type of fishing that I do. Now I live pretty far inland. Every now and then I'll get out and fish a pond or a lake or something like that. But a lot of these principles you can apply to whatever type of fishing you're going to do. So, keep in mind, it's directed for surf fishing, but it will work wherever you need it to work. So this will help modularize your tackle system as well. I'm going to give you a few ideas for that, and hopefully get you started and get you catching some fish. I know we went out this past weekend at Matanzas Inlet, did really good, caught some dinner, had a great time, and we didn't spend a lot of time out there. Don't get me wrong, I love to spend a day on the beach, but the weather was coming in, it was looking kind of bad. You want to get out there and you want to fish the tide and do as well as you can, as quickly as you can, and we had a great time. So what I'm going to show you now is going to be a couple different types of leader materials that I'm going to use. You're going to say, oh my God, this is all big stuff. I'm never going to fish for anything that big. Well, fortunately for you, all you're going to be using out of this is monofilament. Very simple, very easy to use. I chose a really large monofilament. You'll never see me use this size unless I'm fishing for redfish or some other large species. This is 60-pound Andes monofilament. I typically like to use fluorocarbon for my leaders. It's a little more flexible. It straightens out a lot better. You'll notice that this monofilament wants to hold the shape of the spool that it was on. And that kind of makes a crappy leader. You can stretch them out. You can put them in the sun, whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, you're going to wind it right back up and stick it in your binder or whatever you keep your tackle in, your leaders in, so it's going to be coiled back up as soon as you take it back out. I mentioned a binder. This is what I use. It's a Bass Pro Shops tackle binder. A lot of people like them. They use them for soft baits and things like that. All it is Ziploc bags with eyelets in them. But they work great because you can stick your leaders, your hooks, whatever you want in there, and everything you need except your heavy terminal tackle, like your lead weights and things like that, are right there in this bag. BJ, I know you had some questions about what we use. This is pretty much all I carry to the beach with me. I throw this in my bag or in my bucket with my cast net, some lead sinkers, and I tote my fishing poles and I go fishing. So let's get back to tying the leaders. What you have here, very simple. We're going to do a general surf rig. It's going to have 2 dropper loops in it. Very quick, very easy to tie. What you're going to do, I leave it on the spool so it has some weight to it. If you have a clipboard or you want a clipboard, get one, especially if you're new to tying leaders. It makes things a lot easier, make it go a lot faster for you. You're going to take the first end and you're going to tie a perfection loop in it. All a perfection loop is pull the line into a loop, go around itself twice, 1, and then around again twice, just like that. Pull it tight. That's going to be the first end of your leader. You see it makes a nice little loop like that. Very simple, works out very good. You can attach your leaders, you can attach your main line to this, you can attach snap swivels, whatever you need to. You can use this guy right here, and that does everything you need it to do. Now the next part of this is you're going to make a dropper loop. About 12 inches away from your original loop, you're going to come down and you're going to make another loop with the line. Alright? You want to pinch this loop right here in the center. See what I'm talking about heavy monofilament? It gets in the way. It gets aggravating sometimes. You're going to grab that loop right there in the center. Since this thing's going to be a pain in the butt, I'll just weight it down, use a pair of the pliers I got sitting on the bench. Alright, you're going to pinch that loop and you're going to flip it around. And what you're doing is you're making a twist, just like this, all the way around. And guys, I know the video is kind of crappy. I'll give you a couple websites at the end of the video. I'll post them on the Facebook page so you can see. Once you make about 3 or 4 twists around where you're pinching your fingers, excuse me, you're going to take and you're going to open the center of the loop where you made all those twists, just like that. See? And then you're going to grab the other half of the loop. You're going to feed it through the one you just opened up in the middle of the twist, and you're going to pull it tight. Now, you'll notice I didn't lubricate the line. You should always do that, obviously. Anybody that'll tell you, say, hey, lubricate the line, make sure it slides like it's supposed to. That's going to give you a dropper loop. You see how you've got your perfection loop right here at one end? You've got a dropper loop. That dropper loop is going to be used to attach your terminal, your hooks, and your bait lines. All right? So you come down another 12 inches, and you'll do another loop the same way you did before, and you're going to tie a dropper loop. Give it about 6 twists. Some people do more. 6 works just fine for me. I don't find that you need any more or anything like that. Any less, and it usually doesn't hold. So you go around 1 time, 2, 3, and sometimes heavier line will hold a little bit better. There's 4 twists, and it's pretty tight, so we're going to give that one a shot. The worst thing that's going to happen if it pulls loose is it's just going to suck up to your leader line, to your hook line, and it's going to be kind of ugly. But other than that, it's not going to go anywhere. Take that one, pull it tight in both directions, and if you look, you'll see how it tried to spread out like that. That's what happens if you don't have enough twist in it. There you go. There's your second dropper loop. You'll notice they're 10 to 12 inches apart. There's your other perfection loop right there. Now you're going to come up another 12 inches from your second dropper loop, and you're going to tie another perfection loop. Remember, make the loop, go around the main line 1 time into itself, just like you're tying a perfection or any type of loop into a rope. There's 1, wrap around again twice, pull it tight, and there you go. And you'll take, there's 1 end, there's 1 dropper loop, there's another dropper loop, and there's your end, your termination end, the end of the loop. That's your other perfection loop. You're going to take, clip it off the spool, and you're going to come to the other end and trim off the excess. Just like that. And then there you go. There's the leader. Now what you'll do after that is you'll get your snap swivels. Sorry about the poor video quality, guys. You'll take one of these guys right here. Snap swivels. You'll take one. Obviously mine are kind of a mess. And you'll put it on the bottom end, or whichever end you choose to be the bottom, of your leader. And what that's going to be used for is that's going to be used to attach your lead weight to hold it to the bottom. Take your perfection loop, feed it through the eye of the swivel, and feed the swivel back through the perfection loop. And pull it tight. Once you pull it tight, that's on there. That's pretty simple, especially if you're on the beach, you're kind of in a hurry, you want to get a line back out in the water. There you go. Put your swivel on there. Your other end, you're going to have a swivel on the end of your terminal line, and it'll just clip right onto that loop. Then you're ready to, then you've got your primary leader made. The next thing you'll do, if you don't already have it rigged up, is you will grab, oh, let me look in here. Hooks that you've already snelled to a piece of leader line, which I'll go over snelling hooks in the next video. You're going to take them. Obviously they're wound up because they've been in storage. You're going to take and put them on the first dropper loop on your leader. You're going to take this loop, feed it through. And that's going to be the leader. That's the line from the hook. And then you're going to take the hook and feed it through its own loop. Just like that. Pull it tight. Now it's attached to your leader. And you'll do the same thing on the next hook. And then there you go. You have a completed bottom fishing rig. Now, things you can do with this is you can adjust the depth of how deep you're setting your bait to find out where the fish are. You can take and shorten the distance between the bottom loop and the sinker clip, or you can make it longer, which moves the bait up and down in the water, and it'll put it in different heights in the water column, and that way you can find out where your fish are. So there you go. There's your first leader lesson for today. If you have any questions, post them up. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Good luck, guys.